working silently, alone, in the dark, and continue to hit your goals is the process of David Bonifacio to keep himself evolving. So, David would like to hear more deeper meaning who is David is all about.
I mean, I knew I wanted to do business. Right?
How old are you when you want to have your own business?
Very young. I always enjoyed it. But I think you're right in the sense that if I were to say I'd be in fintech or HR tech, I mean, when you're 3 years old, 4 years old, you don't know that. I think you go through, you want to be Batman,
Yes, Superman.
You want to be an astronaut, the usual.
Yes. But why you want to go into business when you were young?
My dad was a businessman. So
Okay.
back then he was a businessman. I saw how fun it was to create stuff. I saw how fun it was to bring a group of people together, be able to not just give them opportunity, but build something together. I think that was very interesting. When you grew up on a diet of great businessmen, you're kind of like, hey, I want to do something like this.
But then, when you were a kid, were you pasaway kid?
I think up to now. I think I challenge rules. Like, for example, why can't it be this way? Or why can this, or why are we still doing it this way?
Yes.
So that's how I'm wired. And so I guess, like I have broken a few rules.
Now, how it feel being a parent looking back?
And I think being a parent it's my favorite role, right? Like having a son is my favorite role. It's, you really, really want what's best for your kid. But then you also, basically my reaction when my son was born was I apologized and thanked my parents. Because like I was complaining over stuff that I had no, I had no idea how many late nights or how expensive it is. It gave me a perspective that that there were so many things I did not appreciate, and I really just had to become a parent.
Will you become tough dad like your dad?
For
before?
sure. I see the benefit of discipline. In fact, I think discipline is one of the, if you're a disciplined person, you have an advantage over 99% of people. Because discipline is basically not just inflicting pain. Discipline is, and it's particularly self-discipline, it's the ability to do the necessary hard thing. Right? Wake up even if you don't want to wake up.
Yes.
Diet even if you don't want to diet.
Yes.
Save even if you don't want to. And so just growing up disciplined, and I mean, I'm not completely disciplined, right? But knowing that you have to seek discipline, gives you an advantage. Because you're not driven by your whims, right? You're driven by your goals, and you're able to limit yourself to the actions of your goals. I think that's a huge advantage in life, not just work.
You see, you came from good family background.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but what drive you? Like, you don't have to really work hard.
I mean, I have to. My parents, like, I didn't inherit any money. I didn't get capital from them. I basically had to, rely on the old school way of working with other people, raising capital, proving your worth. So it's not like they invested in me. They invested in my education. They invested in my values formation, which I think is super valuable.
Okay.
It's really enough, and I think sometimes parents are too pressured to have to, give all the runway their kids need. I think more than anything is they need to make sure their kids grow up strong, they have good character.
So what really drive you to be successful?
But I came up with this criteria for value. So businessmen are wired to maximize value, right? And so for me, here's the criteria. The first one is valuable things are made of valuable materials. And then next is they're well crafted. Okay? Number 3 is they're highly functional, rarity. So one of a kind or limited edition is more valuable than mass-produced stuff. And then finally, lifespan. When something lasts, it's more valuable. That became my criteria for values, right? And there's a verse in the Bible that goes, store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves cannot break in and steal. And then I finally realized that the asset class that heaven that you can store there are souls, right? Because it's souls that go to heaven, And so I said, like, if I could take my earthly wealth and use it to impact the lives of people in a very, very fundamentally significant way. So my score isn't so much how big my bank account is. My score is really in an apples-to-apples comparison way, right, with other people's scores. That I want to impact me. If a person will be so driven to have something inert. I should be a million times more driven to be able to improve life.
And then by building a business, you transform yourself marrying a foreigner. How that happen?
I think in the Philippines, I think you also married a foreigner. I think in the Philippines, I think that sometimes, because of Hollywood, we think, oh wow, like I always get that. I'll be walking and some guard will say like, "Sir,
you're the driver."
Yeah, or parang they'll ask me stuff like that, and they're like, "Sir, siguro ang yaman nyo." Right? And I find it funny, right? I don't. But I think Filipinos, I think in general, need to know that the quality of a person is not the race, but their character. I think though, a lot of people have said that the mix in our baby's cute. And I think, so, I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for him, right? So, I'm happy that he looks more like his mom than me, because my wife's very pretty.
So how you inspire your people?
I mean, like, to be honest, I think they inspire me more than I inspire them, because I think they really believe our mission. So I think more than me inspiring them, I think they really embrace the need for the average worker to have access, and the way to do that is to really help empower HR, right? Empower workforces, right? They've really embraced that. They've had really, really great careers outside. They've taken major pay cuts to join a startup. Like I mentioned, we start work at 7 a.m. Like who does that, right? It's really just people who really care, not just about financial gain, but care about the mission, right? But I think, if anything, I think they know that I never ask them to do anything that I won't do for them. So if I say, show up at 7, that means that they have to wake up at 5. I wake up at 4:30 or 5. In other words, I think they know that anything I ask of them, I'm also doing it. I'm not sort of like just shouting at people or whatever. So I think they really like that we really believe in the same mission, that we're really putting in the same amount of effort, into the same thing. And I think that energizes me.
You see so many teenagers right now, they question themselves. Are they good enough?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go out with friends.
Yeah.
There's a lot of doubts, there's a lot of questions, and they're not happy. What's your best message to them?
When I was younger, I questioned myself. When you were younger, you questioned yourself, I'm sure. I think my simple answer is this, right? When a person says, particularly a young person says, I don't think I'm good enough, I tell them the answer is, you're right, you're not. Okay? And they're like, and I say like, but here's the good news. When you pick a large goal, or a goal bigger than yourself, what that should reveal is the gap between who you are now and who you need to become. Okay? And if your goal doesn't reveal that gap, your goal's too small. People who choose great goals, or at least goals bigger than them, should feel like they're not enough, because they're picking a goal that's beyond them. And maturity, and character means every day waking up and bridging that gap.
So David, thank you very much. What's amazing story.
Yeah.
Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their stories, because if they did it, you can also be called self-made.